Animal Crossing Pocket Camp is now out around the world after many months of secrecy, and initial figures indicate that the game is performing quite well. At least from what I can tell anecdotally from what I've seen on social media, people seem to be taking a liking to it, perhaps more so than Nintendo's previous mobile efforts like Super Mario Run. Personally, I haven't had much of an opportunity to play around with the game very much, but to see people being vocal about how much they're enjoying it almost comes as something of a surprise to me, not necessarily because I expected it to be bad, but because this is the end result of a project that really was subject to some fairly serious development issues. I've spoken a bit about these on my podcast throughout the year, and now I want to make a video to really break it down. As of the making of this video, Nintendo hasn't really given a lot of details themselves about what happened, but I have been able to glean some information from sources who were involved with the project. I want to take you back to the start of its development and establish a timeline to share my understanding of what happened. Development on the Animal Crossing mobile game began sometime in early 2016. It was first announced on the 27th of April 2016 as Nintendo issued its financial report for the previous fiscal year ending March 30th, 2016. At the time, Nintendo said it was also working on a Fire Emblem mobile title and that both of them would be released in autumn 2016. Plans changed. Instead, they revealed Super Mario Run in September at an Apple press event. In a press release sent out around that time, Nintendo suggested that the Animal Crossing game had been pushed back and would launch sometime before the end of that fiscal year, ending March 30th, 2017. Mario Run came out on December 16th, 2016, and the new year arrived without word from Nintendo about what was going on with Animal Crossing. It was around this point that I began to hear the project was in trouble. It was actually being compared unfavorably to the Fire Emblem mobile game also in development. This was because back then, it was very different from Pocket Camp, the game we have today. Nintendo had been working on something much more simplistic and straightforward. Internally, it was not all that well received, and growing concerns about its quality made its future uncertain. It was essentially a town building game with an Animal Crossing theme. The player was supposed to have their own little town area in which they could place buildings and other objects with some small elements of economy management. One prominent feature was that you were intended to be able to visit other people's towns to compare it to yours and purchase items from them. The working title of the project at this earlier stage was simply Animal Crossing Town Planner. Unlike Pocket Camp, it didn't really have much of a gameplay loop to it. There was no roaming around as a player avatar like you can in that game. Instead, it was much more static and menu based apparently. According to someone who was involved with its development, it was around November 2016 that Nintendo would put its foot down and decided the game would undergo some significant changes. Previously, it had been expected to launch sometime before the end of March, just as Nintendo had said, but now it was being pushed back indefinitely. Nintendo's higher-ups are said to have viewed the game as being too bare bones, too basic to really draw players in for an extended period of time and get them invested in it. I was told that not all of it was scrapped, but a fair amount of it was thrown out and redesigned from scratch. In January 2017, Nintendo finally commented on its status and confirmed it had been delayed beyond that fiscal year, although they neglected to share why that was. I'm not the only one who was in on its development issues though. My research into this, some of which I initially shared earlier this year, is at least partially supported by a report that later came out from the Wall Street Journal. According to them, their sources have also suggested that the game was rebuilt at least once. How do you feel about Nintendo's handling of the Animal Crossing mobile game? Let me know your thoughts in the comments, and don't forget to subscribe for more investigative videos just like this one. Thanks for watching.